Light, what if the darkened girl who vaults between worlds is not a cobblestone's survivor but a keystone? Conjunction's wound a relic of the still bleeds, conjunction's final collapse. Etch binds edges stones, the searing sea's thread whisper is a dirge. Ciri fractures into elder blood light, her scream a chord through broken spheres. The conjunction's wound still bleeds, her jump stitch its edges, thread by searing thread. The wild hunt circles, as eternal as the chaos she delays. Light, what if the darkened girl who vaults between worlds is not a cobblestone's survivor but a keystone? Her bloodline stinks of iron in her, conjunction's wound a relic of the still bleeds, conjunction's final collapse, the searing sea's thread whisper is a dirge. Each leap stitches what the conjunction cannot, the wild hunt hunts not to kill but to reclaim. Their shadows stretch because her elder blood still hums with the magic that nearly drowned the continent. She is not its savior. She is its scar, a living seal on a wound too vast to close. Why does the hunt circle? Because her jumps are not defiance, they are debt. A ritual, a delay. The chaos they seek to unmake still lives in her veins, and when the thread she weaves snaps, the conjunction's ghost will wake. How long can a girl hold back a storm by bleeding for it? Sintra's castle reeked of blood and beeswax. A crown prince's daughter bled into the world beneath comet-split skies. Her first cry echoed through halls where tapestries hid prophecies in dead tongues. Elder blood hummed in her veins a song older than mountains. Monsters seeped through reality cracks. Wings blackened the sun. The conjunction's ghost writhed in the air, a fever dream of colliding worlds. Ciri's infancy was a cipher. Her lullabies came from a mother who knew power's price. Kaer Morhen's spires pierced storm-choked skies. Snow bit her cheeks as witchers dragged her through gates carved with dead gods' names. At Vengerberg's shadow, the hunchbacked apprentice first glimpsed her gift, a flicker of light bending like a shield. The wild hunt rides not for sport, but for balance. Spectral kings stalk her, their whispers threading dreams. Asterisk, you are the stitch in the wound, the thread that frays. Asterisk, to vault is to bleed chaos into manageable scars. Each leap costs a sunken eye, a tremor, a memory dissolved. What becomes of a child forced to bear colliding stars? Elder blood does not bless, it demands. Every portal risks unraveling the fragile lie, keeping the continent from drowning. When the hunt's blades return, they will not seek her soul. They will hunt the thread she weaves, the storm she bleeds for, the girl who is not a savior, but a bandage on a festering wound. How long can a bridge hold when it is made of bone and borrowed time? The trial of the grasses left her hands bloodied. Aretusa's straightening erased her name. She walked the knife edge between witcher and sorceress, a paradox the conjunction could not unmake. Her first sigil flared like a dying star. Her first contract bled into a war not her own. Elder blood surged not a crown but a tether. Each leap tore the fabric of what once was whole. The wild hunt followed not as hunters but as echoes bound to the rifts. They sought her not for vengeance but for balance. She is their anchor. She is their failure. The conjunction's magic never stabilized. It pooled in her, a storm in a girl's chest. To vault is to fracture. To breathe is to delay collapse. The continent holds not because order prevails, but because she jumps. Again, again, again. Aretusa's masters call it sorcery. Kaer Morhen's veterans call it madness. Both are right. The sword she wields is steel. The power she channels is a wound. Every portal drains chaos that once shattered kingdoms. Every step forward is a step backward for the world. What becomes of a child who walks broken dimensions' bones? Not a savior, not a queen, a keystone in a door that should not exist. The conjunction's final gasp given form, the hunt circles, the rifts widen. And still she jumps, not to conquer, not to flee, to hold the line, to be the line, until the borrowed time runs out. Icebergs crack under her boots. Ireden's voice is a blade offering dominion through surrender. She grips her sword not to strike, but to anchor. Elder blood surges, ice becomes liquid light. The sorcerer's control splinters. His sigils dissolve like ash in a gale. Wild hunt horses rear, hooves chipping the glacier. Ciri leaps not upward, but asterisk through asterisk, threading the conjunction's fraying seams. Time fractures. The sky bleeds constellations. In this rupture, she is both weapon and wound. Hunt curses scorch her spine, but she bends chaos to her will. Ireden's scream echoes a human sound stripped of his monstrous veneer as his form unravels into storm. His defeat is not an end but a wound in pursuit's fabric. The hunt will return. They must return. Their existence is bound to her defiance, a predator's pulse synced to prey's heartbeat. Each leap carves a scar. Elder blood is no gift, it is a ledger, its entries written in collapsing realms. When she lands, the air reeks of ozone and dying stars. The conjunction's chaos gnaws at reality's edges, but for now, it holds. Her footsteps in the snow are a temporary truce. The ice beneath her feet is a clock with no hands, the continent breathes, the sky does not split, and still the hunt follows. Their whispers coil in the wind, a hymn of hunger and inevitability. Ciri knows the cost. Every vault steals a fragment of her memories, her name, her right to a future. Yet she jumps again, not for power, not for survival. To delay the reckoning the conjunction demands, to buy the world a lie of peace. The line she holds is not stone, it is glass. And glass, however thick, cannot outlast the hand that hammers it. Each leap fractures the veil she swears to mend. The wild hunt circles not because they seek her, but because they are echoes of a conjunction's death rattle trapped in her blood. What holds realms from unraveling is not her strength, but the slow erosion of the girl who became a dam against the end. Her defiance fractured the wild hunt's grip. The conjunction's magic still writhes, unstable, unyielding. She vaults between realms not as savior but as fulcrum. Each leap costs. A kingdom's faith shed, a mentor's body left to crows. The continent shifts, reshaped by what she carries. The wild hunt hunts her now, not to kill but to claim the thread she holds. Their existence is bound to her power, a parasite clung to a wound. What is her gift but the conjunction's last gasp, a force too vast for one life to contain? She is not its master. She is its echo, its reluctant vessel. Grief carves her. Every world she enters leaves a shadow. Every escape steals a piece of her. The balance she sustains is not peace but delay. The continent breathes because she jumps, because she bleeds a magic older than kings. Yet each act of preservation is an act of erosion. How long before the dam cracks, before the realms drown in what she cannot hold? The price is written in the scars across her soul, in the silence of those who fled or fell. She is the reason the end has not come. She is the reason the end is not over, and the girl who bridges worlds, she walks the edge of a blade alone. She leaps, the air splits, a scream of tearing reality follows, then silence. Cintra's princess once, with a crown of thorns and a mother's blood on her hands. At Kaer Morhen, the call her asterisk girl with cat eyes learns to kill. At Aretuza the sorcerer, the lodge whispers, asterisk too much power. Too fast, asterisk they call her asterisk prodigy, asterisk they do not see the cracks. The first jump leaves her blind for 3 days. The second, fevered with visions of cities that never were. The third, a wound in her side where the world's asterisk grind. Asterisk yet the conjunction's chaos still rages. Beasts born of colliding skistrigas, lechons, drowners feast on the continent's wounds. And Ciri, she is the stitch in the fabric. The girl who leaps to hold the storm at bay. But what is a bridge but a thing meant to be crossed and broken? The wild hunt circles not to kill but to asterisk claim. Asterisk they are the conjunction's echo, the monsters of a door left ajar. And Ciri. She is the reason that door still creaks. Each leap drains her. Each jump etches her name deeper into the void. Elder blood does not heal it, asterisk rewrites. Asterisk her bones hum with ancient tongues. Her breath turns to frost that burns. The lodge fears her. The Nilfgaard fears her. Even monsters pause when her footfalls shake ley lines. She is no longer witcher, no longer sorceress. She is a asterisk thing, asterisk between, a fulcrum of what was and what might be. They call her a liability. They do not ask, asterisk at what cost does the continent still stand? Asterisk the answer bleeds from her palms. The answer is the storm she is becoming. And still she leaps, not to escape, not to conquer, but to delay the end one shattered breath at a time. The girl who vaults between worlds carries 1,000 fractured skies' weight. Each leap tears a new wound in the realm's fabric. Each landing spills the conjunction's poison into thinning air. The wild hunt gallops not as vultures, but as elven kings in death throes. Their fury is a storm brewed from ancient betrayal. Ciri's power is no gift, it is a splinter in time's ribs, a dam holding back a flood of dying magics. She tastes ozone and iron with every step. The blood on her hands is not just her own, but the screaming of unraveling dimensions. The continent breathes because she jumps. The hunt pauses because she hesitates. But the magic binding her role is the same that twists her bones. the same force warping stars into weapons. The conjunction's chaos does not sleep, it festers. A single miscalculated step, a flicker of fear, and the elven riders will find their gateway. Forests will burn not with fire, but with the cold of an unmade universe. How long can a girl outrun the end she was born to delay? The realms hold for now. Ciri stands beside Eredin. One is a bridge, one is a grave. Her elder blood weaves realms together, his twists them into knots. The wild hunt chases her not to kill, but to unmake. Every leap is a thread in the conjunction's fraying tapestry. Without her, the continent would collapse into the void's hunger, yet each jump drains her, each stitch rips loose. The magic letting her flee is the same that binds her, a lifeline, a noose. The hunt's horses snort at her heels. Their riders whisper promises of peace if she surrenders, but peace is a lie. To take her is to shatter the fragile clockwork holding back the end. The continent promises of peace if she breathes, because she runs, because she vaults, both to savior and sacrifice. How shatter the long before her fragile steps clockwork falter? How long before the realms split at the seams? The wild hunt waits, the conjunction waits. The girl who was never meant to live becomes the wall between chaos and dawn. The balance holds for now. The codex does not lie. When spheres collided, their fractures birthed horror. See, it carved a fault line where Ciri's blood hums with a world unmade's resonance. Her veins carry shattered constellations' weight. The air crackles where she steps between realms, ozone and burnt honey, as if the sky itself sweats at her passage. The wild hunt circles not because it hunts her, but because it cannot cross without her. Their spectral steeds snort at the threshold, hooves trembling against the veil she holds intact. The conjunction's chaos did not end, it sleeps. And Ciri's vaulting is its cradle. Each leap stitches a thread in the tapestry, keeping the continent from unraveling into void. Yet the cost is etched in her eyes' depths where starlight drowns. She does not choose the realms she touches. They pull at her like tides, whispering in dead tongues, gnawing at her mind's edges. Elder blood is no gift. It is a tether, a brand, a wound that never clots. The witchers who studied her saw only a girl. The mages who feared her saw a weapon. None saw the truth. She is the last echo of a collision that should have erased all life. Her existence is the conjunction's afterimage, a spark refusing to gutter. When the hunt rides again, when spheres shudder in their orbits, it will not be Ciri who falls. It will be the world that dares to forget she is its anchor. The balance holds for now. What happens if Ciri's power falters? Her jumps are not a gift, but a scar, the last gasp of the conjunction. The wild hunt, born of elven desperation, thrives on that chaos. They cannot let her live. Not because she is a threat, but because her survival defies their purpose. If her vaulting falters, the balance cracks, the worlds bleed, the hunt claims what remains. The next dossier reveals why the hunt's elven origins